What's up, guys? Welcome back to Viewer Castles. Today we're going to start off with a StalkerXD. Castle level is a 21, validated on this archer here. So let's jump into it and take a look at what he's got. Alright.
What's yours will soon be mine.
So it looks like probably a fire mine trap to start it off with. You can see that there's a Cyclops that's going to push me back onto the fire mine trap. That's a little scary. There are 4 springboards, so that seems to be set up well. I do like the silence traps, they're kind of cool. I'm not sure, like, I mean, I can time this out pretty easily because there's nothing really putting a ton of pressure on me from timing it out, so I'm not sure how much they do. But I'm not sure how I'm going to get over this easily. That was probably the best thing that I could do. That Cyclops has actually killed themselves by me doing that. So that was pretty cool. Again, what happened is I just barely touched the edge of the 4th springboard trap, got a little bit of stun immunity, and it was able to roll back on top of these. And since the Cyclopses were charging into here, they both charged into the fire mines and killed themselves on it. But yeah, that worked out pretty good. Looks like possibly another fire mine trap right here. This one has some space in between the springboards and the jelly wall, so what you can do is, since there's no ballistas out here, it should be relatively easy for me to be able to do this. But let's see if I can actually pull it off. Alright, there we go. So when there's space in between a jelly wall, it makes that a lot easier because, and the fact that there's no ballistas. If there's no ballistas putting pressure on you, it's very easy to take your time and not have to worry too much about it. Alright, and that looks like it's the end of the castle. So basically you just have 2 really well set up fire mine traps. I do say that having space in between your jelly wall and not having any ballistas on the other side of it is a mistake. I think you should at least have 2 ballistas putting some pressure, so as they're cutting across they take a little bit of damage. Or you can just, you know, make the springboards up tight with the jelly wall, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to kite across them like I did there. But the first one is set up very well. I think you should get a bunch of kills off of that. Alright, so we'll jump into number 2 in just a second. Alright, next up we have Kazow, cast levels of 22. Validate on an archer. Alright, so let's see what he's got in here. So 2 different ways. It looks like this one could be the way to the main castle, so I have to check this just for a mine if I was running it, you know, normally. I guess this is technically a normal attack since it's targeted, but alright, so there's no mines up here. See, the problem is an attacker always has to check this, at least their first try, and then it makes it so that I can't make the time. The only thing that I would say is that since seeing this 1 minute and 28 seconds, more than likely I could have just assumed that there was no mine because it's so low in amount. Alright, so I've seen this before with a lot of hamster wheels. I never really got the idea of it because once you get in and actually get some stun immunity, like the damage on mouse wheels isn't really high enough to, in my opinion, justify using that many of them. Because once you get some stun immunity, you just get through them regardless. It's not like all that difficult to get through them. If there was no stun immunity, I would say it would be a lot better. Alright, so we have a ton of fire mines up here. And a snotter, so it looks like maybe a hunger bot was up there as well. There is 1 space in between here, so I could try to kite across here. I have to use a potion in between because I'm taking a lot of damage, and I managed to actually still get hit by all of them because I do like the placement on these. I might actually die here. Hold on, let me not die, and then I'll talk about it. Okay. I like the placement on here because if you get hit by one, it kind of just throws you to the other one and kind of pushes you back and forth inside of this. This is something I probably should do instead of jelly walls, to be honest. Normally I use jelly walls to box people in, but I think this might be better because jelly walls will only slow you down, but this will actually push you back and kind of just like toss you in between it until you land somewhere inside of the fire mines, which seems pretty good to me. So I like that. That's pretty well set up. Alright, let's see if there's anything else. We have another of these hamster wheel things. And, like, you get knocked down a couple times even if you just walk through it. But then at this point I have so much stun immunity going into it that those springboards won't really affect me all that much. Let's see, how is this exactly supposed to work? It looks like it just throws you back onto silence plus corrosive traps, and then from there he's kind of trying to do the thing that I was trying to do in my castle, where you throw someone into silence and you hope that they spam their ability instead of just walking away and getting away from the Zeke. In my experience so far with the one that I have set up, it's worked terribly. I've recently changed it to a fire mine setup because of that, because it's just so bad. But you know, this can work. I mean, there's 3 Zeeks. It can kill you if they all hit you. Even if like 2 of them hit you, it'll kill you. So it's decent, I guess, for the point investment. I think the majority of your kills should come off of that fire mine trap, though. That's set up pretty well. I almost died, and I'm, you know, 6 levels over your castle, so clearly I would have died there if I was level 22. Alright, so that is number 2, so we're going to go on to number 3 in just a second. Alright, and lastly we have Juicy Fruit, cast levels of 22, validated on this archer. So let's jump into it, see what he's got.
Watch and learn.
Alright, so again there's one that has these mines in between the jelly wall and the first springboard trap. This one has, it looks like maybe 2 ballistas that'll be able to hit me, so I'll kind of wait on that, and I actually messed it up, which sucks a little bit, but it's not too bad. I actually didn't manage to get some stun immunity. It's kind of weird, I'm getting more and more stun immunity these days than I normally do. I'm wondering if they changed something, because all they would have had to do to make this fire mine setup, the whole idea of it, like, just terrible, would be to reduce the range just slightly on this springboard trap to make it just throw you on this edge. Like, if they just reduce the travel amount that you get thrown ever so slightly, you would always get stun immunity on it. So I've been hitting this even when I'm not trying to. Like here I was trying to land in between these and kite across it, you know, but I managed to just barely. And I guess that could be the reason also, is if you kind of go on it and you're starting to head backwards, you'll have a little bit of negative momentum. You know, like that. See, I landed almost in the middle of this because I was moving backwards as this threw me. So the game kind of works on like this momentum system where if you're already moving and another force moves you in the opposite direction, it'll like subtract the two and make it so that you land not as far. Whereas if you're like rolling towards it with some positive momentum going forward and it pushes you, you'll land like way back here because you'll have that extra momentum. That's why when you watch your replays, if you have one of these setups, the player won't always land in the same spot, even if they did, you know, hit the same springboard, because it depends on how fast they're moving towards or against the area that they're being thrown towards, if that makes any sense.
That does the job.
Alright, so this one doesn't have a jelly wall, so it's very easy to just kind of kite across this. As long as you don't mess up, I should be fine. I can just get across it pretty easily. And I'm actually wondering if I can skip this group now that I've did this. That's always something that I like to test for, if I'm able to, and it looks like I can indeed skip this group here. So you'll want to at least put like a snotter or even just like changing the facing of these archers down so that they cover this edge here, so that someone, if they do manage to just kite over that, they can't just walk around this edge and get away from this entire group of, you know, like 20 points of mobs. It does make it so that I have to fight this boss kind of in this room, but that's not the biggest deal in the world. I mean, like, this is a decent sized boss room, and it's fairly difficult for level 22 people. Because there's a lot of, like, you have a couple defended Zeeks plus a couple Scorpios. I would actually say that Scorpio might be better on the pin strike ability rather than hook. I think it works better with Zeeks, in my opinion.
Excellent.
Alright.
Wow.
So that's the end of this castle and the end of the video. As always, if you guys enjoyed, please subscribe. If you want to be a part of Eurocast, you first have to add me to your friends list. I'll accept, and then I'll be able to run your castle. And then also, you have to email me at frenzycastleruns@hotmail.com. Level 20 and above castles is all I'm taking right now because I'm super backed up. I mean, I'm ridiculously behind. Between just being busy lately and only being able to run one castle a day, like I can't record like I normally do with, which is, you know, I used to do like 4 episodes in one night. I would just run like 12 castles straight, and then I would have a couple days that I was busy, and then I would run 4 more and stuff like that. That's how I was able to keep up with content. And now I'm not really able to do that because of the targeted attacks thing. So if you guys have noticed that there's been like a couple days where I haven't had videos out, that's why. But that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.